Hello there guys, welcome to another of my live videos, and on this video there is lots to negotiate about. So I am going to be giving you an update on some more transfer news. This is your Transfer Daily Show, keeping you up to date of what players are linked with Manchester United. So I'm going to be talking with you a bit more about Jadon Sancho. Also going to be giving you a bit more additional information on Harry Kane. Going to be giving you the latest news on Jude Bellingham, and also going to be giving you the latest news on Raul Jimenez. So there's so much, to delve into. Also, by the way, the Premier League held a meeting this morning to establish plans for the remainder of the season. And now we do know, what's happening with that, but I will delve into that a bit later on in the video. So the first topic I'm going to start with is Jadon Sancho. So Man United are set to go out for Jadon Sancho in the summer transfer market. Now, obviously, Jadon Sancho, I think, is our number one priority target. Jadon Sancho is set to cost us at least £100 million. Probably Manchester United, will have to end up paying around £120 million for his services. But either figure, it's going to make him a record signing, and it's going to make him our most expensive player, because our most expensive signing at the moment is Paul Pogba, who we paid £89 million for. Now, I think, Jadon Sancho has revealed that he wants to come to Manchester United. Also to Marcus Rashford, he said, he'd love Jadon Sancho at Manchester United next season, because I think, Jadon Sancho would go well alongside Rashford and Martial in our attacking line. And, Sancho and Rashford have got a very, very good friendship. Now, as you all know, Manchester United, I think, are still working on his contract, and we have been in negotiations with his agent for around 2 months, like Fabrizio Romano, said the other week. And, Fabrizio Romano is a very reliable Italian journalist. But I think Manchester United are willing to offer Jadon Sancho around £400,000 a week. So that would make him the highest paid player at the football club, as well as our most expensive signing. And we're also willing to offer Jadon Sancho the iconic number 7. Like I said, I think he'll operate very, very well in the number 7, because, Man United have had a lot of good number 7s up and down the generations. Now, obviously, the Borussia Dortmund CEO, he said, he will not step in Jadon Sancho's way if he does want to leave Borussia Dortmund in the summer transfer window. But even, with this coronavirus crisis, Borussia Dortmund, do remain ruthless over their valuation. They're not going to let him go on the cheap, because Borussia Dortmund do want to make a huge profit on the player. Now, obviously, Borussia Dortmund only paid around £7 or £8 million for him from Man City. So if they're selling for £120 million, they're going to make around £112 or £113 million profit. The beneficial thing is as well that Sancho's played in the Premier League. He enjoyed 2 years with Man City. But, due to limited appearances, this is the main explanation why I left Manchester City to join Borussia Dortmund. He's been at Borussia Dortmund now for around... he's been there a few years now. I think this is his 3rd season with them. But analysing how good his performances have been, this is why his valuation has persistently grown. Jadon Sancho still got a contract with Borussia Dortmund until 2022. Now, obviously, Man United we're not the only club that have been in for him. Like I mentioned, Chelsea is still in for him. Liverpool have been in for Jadon Sancho and that. But he's definitely expected to leave Borussia Dortmund at the end of the season, because Sky in Germany, did break this news out back in February. But, we was relentlessly linked with Jadon Sancho last year. But the main explanation why we didn't get him last year is because we had no Champions League football to offer. Jadon Sancho is only the age of 20. He just recently turned 20 years of age. So he would fit Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's transfer strategy perfectly, because Solskjaer does want to continue the policy of recruiting young players to Manchester United. But he's a very, very good player, is Jadon Sancho. He can create chances. His runs on and off the ball are very, very good. And obviously, the Irish Independent came out recently, and they said it's unofficially confirmed that Sancho will join Manchester United in the summer transfer window. So looking very, very imminent. He's actually going to be our first signing in the summer, and he's going to be our 6th signing overall under the Ole Gunnar Solskjaer era, if Solskjaer is still Manchester United manager going on into next season. Duncan Castles also brought this news out back in February, I think it was, And, he says Manchester United are emerged as the favourites to sign Sancho in the summer. But him reuniting in the Premier League is definitely, beneficial for his career. Now, obviously, Borussia Dortmund are looking for an adequate replacement for Jadon Sancho, but he is predominantly a right winger, and Manchester United, of course, do need a right winger. But like he revealed, he likes Rashford a lot, he's a big admirer of Martial, and he also likes Mason Greenwood a lot. But, Manchester United, we've got a lot of good attacking players. Like I mentioned, we've got Rashford. He's enjoyed a good season with Manchester United before he got injured, because obviously, Marcus Rashford has been out with injury, for a while. Rashford has got a back injury. He got injured in our win against Wolves in the FA Cup. The good news is when the season does eventually resume, Marcus Rashford should be back in action. But, up until this point, Rashford has spent the entirety of his career with Manchester United. And I think he's only the age of, 22 or 23. So he's a very, very good attacking player. Also, too, Anthony Martial has recently rejuvenated himself. Do you think there is doubts over Anthony Martial's future? He probably, does face a fight, keeping his place in the team. Obviously, this season Martial has been playing in that number 9 role, even though he predominantly, plays out wide. But Martial could actually, stay in that number 9 because Solskjaer actually, prefers Marcus Rashford out wide than in the number 9. But Martial now is into his 5th season at Manchester United, so he's been a long-serving player as Anthony Martial. But there again, he's enjoyed some difficult spells as a Manchester United player. Also, too, you've got to give Odion Ighalo a lot of credit because he's enjoyed a fantastic start to his Manchester United career. He's got 4 goals in 3 starts for the club. I think it's more than likely that Manchester United are going to decide to get Odion Ighalo in on a permanent transfer in the summer. I think it's revealed he will cost us around £15 million to get him on a permanent transfer. We've got him on loan at the moment. His current loan spell expires at the end of May. But I think Man United could extend his loan, to the 30th of June due to the coronavirus pandemic. But I think it said the other week he was even willing to take a wage cut, was Odion Ighalo, to remain at Manchester United. But I said, didn't I, he's a good cover-up to Marcus Rashford. I've also got to give Mason Greenwood a lot of credit because this is his first full season in the senior squad. He seldom starts in the Premier League, Mason Greenwood, but he tends to start more in the cup competitions. He's a backup, he's Greenwood at the moment. Daniel James, he's another good attacking player for us. When he first came in, he did really, really well. I'm surprised he's played as many games to the extent, because I didn't expect him to play as many games as he has done, to be quite honest with you. But I do believe Solskjaer's been overplaying Daniel James. But there's some aspects of his game that need to improve. Maybe his crossing needs to improve, his tracking back needs to improve. But we do look much better now attackively, but we still need, centre forward. Like, reiterate what I said, we need a right winger, and we also need a central midfielder. But Jadon Sancho, going alongside our attacking players, I think, he would do very, very well, would the player. But it is a lot of money. It's a substantial amount. It's £120 million for a 20-year-old. Before he was at Man City, by the way, he was at Watford because he began his career with Watford. So I'm very, very convinced that Manchester United are going to sign Sancho. I think this stemmed from Kieran Maguire, was it? He says that Sancho could remain at Borussia Dortmund if the season is extended until July. But I think he's coming to Manchester United, and I think he's given a couple of main explanations why he prefers a move to Man United over Chelsea, because probably he does like Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's transfer strategy. But yeah, he's on his way to Manchester United. He's Jadon Sancho. Now let's delve into news on Harry Kane. Then we'll delve into news on Raul Jimenez. So I have been keeping you guys up to date of what's been going on with Harry Kane on a regular basis. Now, he may leave Tottenham in the summer. He may not leave Tottenham in the summer. Now, obviously, Harry Redknapp has come out and give his verdict on, this speculation on Kane. And he believes that, he would be a good addition to Manchester United or Manchester City's squad. But Harry Redknapp does believe that Harry Kane should remain loyal at Tottenham. Now, obviously, Kane, recently, made an admission saying, he could decide to leave Tottenham if the team do not progress. And obviously he did say, he will not stay at Tottenham for the sake of it. Now, Harry Kane has revealed his ambition, and his ambition is to, win trophies in that. And he hasn't won anything in terms of silverware during his Tottenham career so far. And Harry Kane has been a Tottenham player for several years. You know, he was in their youth academy for a good 5 years, and he's been in their senior squad since 2011. Harry Kane, of course, is Tottenham's third highest goal scorer in their history. Harry Kane has 181 goals in 261 appearances in all competitions and 136 goals in just under 200 Premier League appearances. And Tottenham do know how much of an imperative player he is. But I think, you know, Kane will end up leaving Tottenham, but I'm very, very sceptical that he will come to Manchester United. My own perception on it, I think he'll end up either going to Real Madrid. You know, don't forget Real Madrid got Bale and Modric from Tottenham in, you know, before. So I think, you know, they are capable of getting Harry Kane. Or he could possibly, you know, go to Juventus. Don't forget though, a lot of teams are under financial pressure due to this coronavirus outbreak. But I don't see him, you know, continuing playing his trade in the Premier League, you know, Harry Kane, to be quite honest with you. Now, Tottenham anyway have given their overarching view on it, and they've got no intentions of selling Harry Kane. They did recently say that, you know, Tottenham would demand around £200 million for the player. So that would make him the most expensive signing in the Premier League with that figure. And it'd also make him one of the most expensive players in the world. But I'm very, very sceptical that Man United will pay £200 million. Tottenham would want minimum £150 million for the player. Now, Kane also said, you know, the season may not be completed if it doesn't resume by the end of June. So this is something else, you know, that Harry Kane had come out and said. But like I mentioned, you know, there has been a few clubs in for him. We've been in for Harry Kane at least for the last 5 years or so. But we reiterate what I mentioned before. Daniel Levy, who's the Tottenham chairman, he's a very, very hard negotiator. Obviously, you know, he's a good businessman. I'll give him credit for that, but he's a very, very hard negotiator. I think it did say that Ed Woodward is set to have negotiations with Daniel Levy over us possibly, you know, making a move for Harry Kane in the summer. But obviously, you know, Daniel Levy says there's no intentions of selling him. We've done business with Tottenham in the past. Don't forget, we got Dimitar Berbatov off them. We got Michael Carrick off them. Michael Carrick endured 12 years at Manchester United. So we've done business with Tottenham in the past, and you know, Tottenham have lost quite a few of their imperative players in recent years. Don't forget they lost Christian Eriksen back in January to Inter Milan after he endured 7 years with Tottenham. He was a long-serving player for Tottenham, was Christian Eriksen. They also lost Danny Rose, you know, and they've lost quite a few of their imperative players, and they've had quite a few injuries this season of Tottenham, so they've obviously, you know, had to make a lot of rotation. Obviously, you know, Kane has been out with injury since New Year's Day. He's been out with a hamstring injury. But when the season does resume, Harry Kane is expected back. Back in the summer of 2018, Harry Kane signed a 6-year contract with Tottenham, worth £200,000 a week. So he's under contract with Tottenham until 2024. So he's still got 4 years remaining on his contract at the moment. 4 years remaining on his contract at the moment, and Harry Kane is around, 26 years of age, so he has still got a lot of years ahead of him. I do believe Harry Kane, you know, would be a great signing for Manchester United if he was to come in, because he's well proven in that in the Premier League, but I just don't see him coming to Manchester United, if I'm going to be quite honest with you. If Kane was to remain loyal to Tottenham this summer, you know, Tottenham would be delighted, but, you know, if Tottenham were to win out next year, then I can definitely assure he would be on his way out, would Harry Kane. Because Tottenham can't win anything in terms of silverware this season because they're not in the FA Cup, they're not in the Champions League. Their ambition when the season does eventually resume is to finish 5th. Because obviously, you know, 5th place is a Champions League spot. And Mourinho will only have £50 million to spend in the summer transfer window if, you know, Tottenham don't get qualification for any European football. So that probably, you know, would convince Kane to leave. But I'd like to pointed out before, Tottenham made a mistake by getting rid of Mauricio Pochettino, because Pochettino endured 5.5 years with Tottenham. Obviously, you know, analysing the vast majority of his tenure, Tottenham were competing in and out of the top 4. They were competing in and out of the top 4. And don't forget, last season they progressed Tottenham to their first ever Champions League final. But they shouldn't have recommended Jose Mourinho win. I'll reiterate again what I said before. Mourinho has passed his sell-by date and he's no longer a manager to the top level. You can't take anything away from Mourinho because he's got a good pedigree behind him. He's won around 25 major honours in his managerial career, but Tottenham should not have got rid of Pochettino. I think Jose Mourinho's got a contract with Tottenham till 2023, and he's on around 15 million a year, which is over double than what Mauricio Pochettino was on. So Tottenham did make a mistake by doing that. So I do believe, Kane probably, will end up leaving Tottenham, but I'm very, very sceptical that he'll come to Manchester United. Yeah.
We're out tomorrow?
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Well, anyway, window cleaners are alright. I've had it up on the internet, window cleaners and gardens.
Yeah. But yeah, so that's the latest news on Harry Kane. But Manchester United are basically seeing him as an adequate replacement for Romelu Lukaku. Now, I just want to give you some news on Raul Jimenez from Wolves. It has been confirmed that Raul Jimenez has not got a release clause in his Wolves contract, but he's confirmed that he would still cost around 34 or 35 million pounds. Now, obviously, Manchester United have inquired about the availability of Raul Jimenez in the past. I think he's done very, very well for Wolves, to be fair. I think Wolves didn't pay around, was it 38 million euros for him from Benfica? Well, they did pay 3 million euros for him because they did get him on loan, but then Wolves did decide to make the deal permanent, so I think they paid around 38 million euros. Raul Jimenez, don't forget, he's a former Atletico Madrid player. I think he began his youth career in America, did Raul Jimenez. And Raul Jimenez, I think, is around 28 years of age, so he is an experienced striker. So, would you recommend him in to Manchester United in the summer? So, yeah, there's no release clause in Raul Jimenez's contract. So, yeah, so let's now delve into news on Jude Bellingham. Now, I just want to give you some news on him, yeah. So, as you all know, Birmingham City, I think, have come to accept the fact that Jude Bellingham's going to leave at the end of the season. Now, Birmingham City have had financial issues for at least the last couple of years in that. So, obviously, it'd be beneficial for Birmingham if, obviously, they could offload Jude Bellingham. Now, obviously, Birmingham have confirmed that they want around £30 million for Jude Bellingham, or £35 million. Manchester United are still in there for him because Jude Bellingham is a priority target for Manchester United. I think Borussia Dortmund are emerged as the favourites to sign Jude Bellingham because reports came out a couple of days ago saying that he was a signature away from completing a transfer to Borussia Dortmund. Now, obviously, quite a few weeks back, Jude Bellingham visited our Carrington training ground, to hold talks with Sir Alex Ferguson. He also, too, Ed Woodward had met up with his parents, and he gave his verdict on his visit to our training ground, and he said, it was very, very good. And there's been a few clubs that have expressed their interest in Jude Bellingham, but I'll reiterate what I've mentioned before. Jude Bellingham is not Premier League standard, and I don't think he's at that elite level as yet, Jude Bellingham, if I'm going to be quite honest with you. I think, personally, Jude Bellingham needs at least another season in the Championship to gain more experience because he is only at the age of 16. Don't forget, Jude Bellingham became the youngest player to represent Birmingham. He made his senior debut at the age of 16 years and 38 days. Jude Bellingham's played persistently this season for Birmingham. I think he's played around 30-odd games in the Championship, but he's been a revelation, and Bellingham's expected to sign a professional contract in the summer when he does turn 17 years of age, because I think he's on around 145 quid a week at the moment is the player. So he does still remain a priority for Manchester United. I think he's predominantly number 10 is Jude Bellingham, but Borussia Dortmund, I think, are emerged as the favourites. But yeah, Birmingham are under they've got financial issues, just like a lot of teams have at the moment due to this coronavirus outbreak. And like I mentioned before, teams could lose millions in transfer revenues because of this. So that's the latest news on Jude Bellingham. Obviously, earlier on today, I said to which midfielder should Manchester United buy, because obviously, there's been James Maddison on our agenda, there's been Saul Niguez on our agenda, Jack Grealish and that. So we're basically, looking for an adequate replacement for Paul Pogba. But, Solskjaer did reveal, that he wants Manchester United to make around 3 signings in the summer, because he believes that's how many signings Manchester United do need to become title contenders. So let's just put that into the equation. So let's delve into the last topic. So the Premier League held a meeting this morning to establish plans for the remainder of the season. Now, I have got it up here. So they have confirmed the outcome of the season. So wait, let's get it up. This is what it basically says. So Premier League clubs to ask their players to take wage cuts of up to 30% and will donate 20 million to the NHS, plus 125 million to the EFL and the National League. So this is what the Premier League are doing. And there's been no exact date when the season will resume. It has been extended indefinitely, as everyone knows, but there's been no exact date when it's going to resume. It will resume when it's safe to resume, because there was recent reports actually, saying that the season, will resume in May, and it's going to be completed on the 12th of July to avoid TV contract rebates of £762 million. But now the season's not going to resume in May. But there's been a few things that, I've heard. I was reading a narrative the other week and it said the season will resume in June. One narrative said the season will resume in July. But now, the Premier League have come to a decision. It will resume when it's safe. If players do not accept pay cuts in the Premier League and that, it's saying, Premier League clubs may be forced to sell their players. So the Premier League are going to give £20 million to the NHS. But, this will be very, very good news for, Liverpool fans. Because obviously, Liverpool were fearing, that they could have been denied the title due to this coronavirus. But they're not going to be denied the title. Liverpool, 25 points clear of Manchester City. They only need 2 wins to secure their first ever Premier League title and to end their 30-year drought. This is, what the... This is what they're going to do and that. So, Liverpool are going to win their first ever Premier League title. So, no matter what, this season is going to resume. Definitely in that. Obviously, there was a lot of talks earlier on in the season as well. If the season wasn't going to resume about 22 teams being in the Premier League next season. Also, 5 teams relegated and the EFL or FA Cup games to be scrapped, to increase Premier League fixtures and etc, etc. But now a decision has been made because a meeting has taken place this morning. So wage cuts are highly on the agenda. And players, will take these wage cuts of around 30% or deferrals. So, so that's basically, the latest news on that. My verdict on Ole Gunnar Solskjaer is that this is another topic, by the way. I said that was my last topic, but I'll delve into a bit of news of Solskjaer. My verdict on Solskjaer is I think he should be given at least another season at Manchester United. He should be given at least another season because it is a transition period. And like Solskjaer revealed at the beginning of the year, he's hopeful that we can get through this transition period. Now, Solskjaer knows if he's given another season at Manchester United that he's got many expectations to exceed. By the way, Solskjaer, also, said that NHS workers are real heroes. So obviously, he is proud of their work. And a lot of people have, been clapping the NHS off and that. So, But, Solskjaer, is being credited by a lot of people. Obviously, Ed Woodward's still determined to back him. The Glazers still determined to back him. And don't forget, a lot of United fans have had doubts about the club's ownership and Ed Woodward this season because I don't like the way the football club's been run in the last 6 or 7 years. Also, too, Andres Pereira's been talking. And, he's actually, credited Solskjaer, for him giving, the young players the chances. And that's one thing I've got to credit him for, for him giving the young players their chances. Because he said at the start of this season, Solskjaer, that the young players would get given their opportunities. So that's very, very good to see. And Andres Pereira said that he will fight to get Solskjaer silverware at Manchester United. By the way, as well, Man United are no longer interested in getting a left back. That's been confirmed today because obviously, with the emergence of Brandon Williams. Brandon Williams is in his first season in the senior squad, and I've got to say he's done really, really well. But he's still inexperienced at the moment. Luke Shaw, he's our experienced left back. He's done really, really well since he's come back from injury as Luke Shaw. He's been criticised in the past, and obviously he's enjoyed quite a few injuries as a Man United player. But I still do really, really highly rate Luke Shaw, if I'm going to be quite honest with you. I don't think Man United should sack Solskjaer, even if we do end the season bad when it does resume. But we've been in a good run of form recently. We are unbeaten in our last 11 games in all competitions. It's our best vein of form since Solskjaer was the interim manager. Because obviously, when Solskjaer was the interim manager, he came in, won his first 8 games as Man United manager. Obviously, we only lost one of our... He lost one of his first 17 in all competitions and won 14 out of 19 in all competitions. So reflecting on that, that was enough to give Ole Gunnar Solskjaer the job permanently. And he has been permanent Manchester United manager now for officially a year. And you can definitely take positives from Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's tenure, like I've said before, and you can also take some negatives from his tenure so far. There's positives to take this season, because we've done really, really well against elite opposition. We've registered like 17 points against elite opposition this season. Yes, we have. His approach to the big games has been absolutely fantastic, so that's a positive you can take. You've also got to give him a lot of credit, Solskjaer, for the players that he has recommended in so far. Obviously, he spent around £220 million in free transfer windows. Last summer he brought Daniel James in, and Wan-Bissaka and Harry Maguire. And in January he brought Bruno Fernandes and Odion Ighalo in. And also too, he has got rid of a lot of the deadwood since he's come in as Solskjaer. So that's another thing you've got to credit him for. Around 9 players have left since his arrival. And I think we're planning on getting rid of around 5 or 6 players in the summer transfer window, maybe even 7 players in the summer transfer window, because he's still deadwood at the football club. And so yeah, there's definitely positives you can take. There's positives you can take, definitely. But there's also negatives. The negatives are, since Solskjaer got the job permanently, his record has been disastrous. We've enjoyed our worst start to a Premier League season ever this season. So we've enjoyed our worst start for like 30 years. Yeah, we haven't been great against lower opposition. We've had some negative results under the Ole Gunnar Solskjaer era. Manchester United is the 3rd club that Ole Gunnar Solskjaer is managing in his managerial career, because before he was here, he was at Molde. Got to credit him for what he did at Molde, because he won a couple of Norwegian titles with Molde. And before he was at Molde, he was at Cardiff. Again, that's where he began his managerial career. And, his record at Cardiff was disastrous. He only managed around 29 games for Cardiff, did Solskjaer. The main explanation why he got sacked from Cardiff is because he got Cardiff relegated. But the longer he remains in the Man United job, he's going to gain more managerial experience. That's another element of concern. He is inexperienced as a manager, is Solskjaer, and that. But I just can't wait till the season does resume, because I do believe this coronavirus will go eventually. Maybe gone in June, maybe July, I don't know. But I think it's been a long running saga, this disease. I think it's been going on for around 5 months now, this coronavirus. And and obviously, most countries are now in lockdown with it, and it is very, very bad, It is very, very bad, but Solskjaer deserves more time at Manchester United, definitely. He deserves more time at the club, because not every manager settles in straight away. Like I mentioned, Klopp didn't settle in straight away at Liverpool. Ferguson didn't win out in his first 4 years when we recommended him in from Aberdeen. But look what he went and accomplished after, 4 years of not winning anything. The vast majority of our silverware we won came under the Alex Ferguson era. And since Ferguson left, we've been playing catch-up for several years. We've had managers with different philosophies. We spent a hell of a lot of money in the last 6 or 7 years. I think we've spent like £1 billion, or just under £1 billion in the last 6 or 7 years. And we've recruited over 30 odd players in since the Ferguson era. In the players we've brought in, in recent years, and that, obviously, we've had players like Schneiderlin, Schweinsteiger, Angel Di Maria, Falcao, Daley Blind, Depay. They're players that, Louis van Gaal brought in, Fellaini, Juan Mata. They're players that David Moyes brought in. Fellaini's no longer here now. And obviously, Mourinho, recommended a lot of players in, and, there's still 9 of Jose Mourinho's players here. So, take into account, Solskjaer is inheriting the vast majority of Jose Mourinho's players. Yes, he is in that. So, yeah, he does deserve more time at the football club. But if Solskjaer was to be sacked, I think, would either recommend Pochettino or Massimiliano Allegri as his replacement. So, yeah, so that's everything to update you with today on this video. Drop your comments, likes below on the channel. If you do, consider subscribe as always, and take care. God bless, and I'll see you all again very, very soon.